Hi, Rich Salles, Foundation Patents. I'd like to tell you about the trademark statement of use specimen. Now, a lot of people use those trademark companies. They're not lawyers, I can't say their name, I guess. But you could do that, but they tend to abandon people. Getting a registered trademark on the USPTO General Registry of Trademarks, the good one, the one that lets you sue infringers, protect your brand. Intellectual property, after all, is part of your portfolio. So when you want that trademark, you do the application right, get the international class right, give the proper disclaimers. Then if you get a conditional allowance within about 6 months, PTO is actually running pretty quick right now, so you'll get it in about 4.5 months. It says notice of allowance, but it's really a conditional allowance. If you filed section 1B, which is intent to use, which means you wanted to hold your place for your brand, your mark, your logo, the word mark, but you weren't able to show that you're using it in commerce yet, which makes sense. As a microentity startup, you want to make sure your intellectual property is solid before you start building a brand. You don't want to find out you're an infringer down the road. So why this conditional allowance? After the USPTO publishes in the USPTO Gazette your name, the name of the brand, the international class of the products or services you're selling, afterward, they want to make sure you're not a squatter, because they don't want people preempting the field in a variety of industries, buying up names like a monopoly, unless they're going to really be using it for their business. You can imagine. So they send a conditional allowance, and then they give you 6 months. You can extend that for up to 3 years. Each extension requires greater and greater good cause. Initially, it requires no cause, and then each 6 months, you got to prove, hey, what's the delay? But they're pretty cool about it. So what do you want in your specimen? This is all about specimen refusals and how to avoid them. So a lot of people have a brand, but they don't know how to get the specimen into the patent office in a way that the trademark examiner and the STE, the supervising trademark examiner, will approve of your specimen and get you a registered trademark. So think of it as a brand, and that brand, just like the Nike swoosh, you know, that their symbol, or the golden arches, or as Eddie Murphy would tell us, the golden arcs, just a joke. You want the brand to be paramount on your website. If you've got a product and you can engrave your brand onto the product or onto the packaging, or even if you're showing it on the shelf, it should be on the price tag, it should be on the label. Let's say it's at Target. You want your brand name right there on the product and the logo if possible. I know you have to pay for shelf space in a variety of big commercial stores, but if it's your website, which nowadays is the vast majority of trademark holders have their website, here's what you want to do. Especially on the landing page and on the shopping cart page, you want to have your brand prominent, front and center, and you want to make it very clear that you are in fact selling or the goods and services that you applied for way back when you did the first application. You don't have to show all those products and all those services, just one. They look for just one. The logo has to be exactly the same as the one on your application. The logo you uploaded, PDF, JPEG, PNG, however you uploaded it, it's got to be exactly the same. The slightest difference in background color, shading, font will destroy the whole thing. I like to say jokingly that patent examiners love inventions, and they're engineers first and lawyers second. So patent examiners love to say yes. No disrespect, but trademark examiners are not engineers. They're lawyers first. And with all due respect, lawyers like to say no. So get it right. Here's how you get it right. Get your logo on the brand or all over your website, showing the product or the services exactly as you applied in the international class. Put it all over that website, especially on the landing page and the shopping cart page. The standard is such that the American interstate consumer can see by looking at the website that your brand, the mark you applied for, is the source of the goods without confusion, or the source of the services you're providing. So that's how you do it. Important safety tips. Don't worry about the URL. I have lots of clients who advertise perfectly on their Facebook page, on Etsy, Amazon, eBay. That's not relevant. The USPTO does not get into a fight with GoDaddy about URL names. Once they get to the site, they start looking for the material on the site. They're not looking for the URL. It helps as a variety of indicia, but it's not the key. The key is what they see. Are you, in fact, the source of the goods or services under the brand name and slogan that you applied for? Or, here's the danger, they might relegate you to the status of a squatter and give a rejection, which is very hard to overcome. It can be done, but you don't want to end up at the PTAB, Patent Trial and Appeal Board, trying to show you're real. And here's the bottom line. They have a sneaking ability to figure out who's real and who's not. If you're not really selling yet, don't try to pretend you are. Start selling under the brand you protected. You've got your conditional allowance, so you can give that R&D money now to proliferate and begin marketing. Start selling, and then prove that you're selling under exactly the name you've got, and it'll work. That's how you deal with specimens. Richard Salles, Foundation Patents, Walnut Creek. Have a good day.